Okay, so now we're going to visualize an ROC curve, and we need to talk about what an ROC curve is, but before that, we need to discuss true positives, false positives, true positive rate, false positive rate, and then really how to read the curve, and then we'll go ahead and visualize it. So to get started, a true positive is when we predict that something is positive and the actual result is positive. So in this case, we're predicting a recession and there actually is a recession. A false positive is when we predict that something is positive and the actual result is negative. So we predict that there is a recession and there isn't. A false negative, conversely, is when we predict that something is negative and it's actually positive. So we predict there is no recession and there actually is. And then, of course, a true negative is when we predict that something is not positive and it actually isn't positive. So we say that there isn't a recession and there really isn't a recession. And all an ROC curve does is it just balances those effects. So it's plotted so that on the x-axis, you have the false positive rate, and on the y-axis, you have the true positive rate. And essentially what you want to do is stay as close to the y-axis as possible. So the curve should shift up into the left-hand side and stay away from the 45-degree angle. And we'll see what that looks like right now. So all we're doing here is we are instantiating the model. We use the model that we built before, and then we are running fit again, and we're getting a score, and we're going to show what this looks like, okay? So again, pretty good model, but it's highly unbalanced, and you have to be aware of that. If it's not balanced correctly, you can end up seeing models that look like they're absolutely great and they're really not. So the reality is what we have here is a model that is very high and to the left-hand side, close to the true positive rate. So it's doing a pretty good job, but we don't have enough data to really be able to say this is a great model. It's really not. If we look a little bit deeper, we'll find that the accuracy measure is about 80%. And what we want to do is we want to get that measure up a little bit higher. And we want to make sure that we're maximizing that recall as well. So with that being said, this is what the ROC curve looks like. If you have the result and let's say the line is just marginally above this 45-degree measure, it's not really a good model, because basically it's kind of a coin toss, right? You're getting right around 50%, and that's basically where your model is going to lie. But if it's actually able to discern the classes, then you're going to have something that's much higher up into the left-hand side for the curve. Okay, fair enough. Maybe a little bit more detailed an explanation that we need, but just want to make sure you have an understanding of what an ROC curve is, how to read it, and next we're going to go ahead and visualize a couple other metrics. Okay, thank you.